Hello all, I welcome you all to this session of DNA. Today is 9 December and let us quickly look at the topics which we'll be covering today. We'll be focusing more on prelims topics as our attention should be now going towards prelims which is approaching for 2026. The topics which we'll be covering today are government spars over the issue of Vande Mataram, the Hornbill festival, then the Deepathoon order and related High Court judge impeachment which is being tried by the opposition, then about the DHRUVA framework, then the news related to crypto transaction, then we'll be looking at this Stubble burning related issue which has been going on in the newspaper for past 3-4 days. Then EU has fined the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. We'll be looking on that aspect as well. Then towards the end, we'll be looking at the Thailand-Cambodia dispute which is going on in the adjoining border area. So before we start with the news analysis of the day, let us begin with the quote of the day. The quote of the day, I have borrowed it from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, shloka 13. The essence of it, when translated in English, comes as, man is made by his belief, as he believes, so he is. Fine. So when we embark upon this journey of UPSC, there may be different kinds of belief system which we'll be having with us. But during our preparation of UPSC, we should be translating this into that of a civil servant, because as the quote in simple language, if we can explain, says whatever we'll aspire, whatever we'll think, that kind of behavior will translate into our actions and so will become so. As future civil servants, we must believe in certain ideals such as integrity, honesty, service to nation, justice, so that when we become a civil servant in future, we can serve our nation better. If we are to believe that we are strong enough, we are focused, we are capable, then only we'll be able to translate those things into our action. If we believe that we can do, then only we can do. Otherwise, there will be different kinds of constraints going on with us, and that will not be able to help us translate into our successful endeavors. Fine. So that's a simple quote which I've taken from Bhagavad Gita, and that's a very relevant one when it comes to our UPSC preparation. Let us begin with the first topic, which is about the political row which has erupted over the issue of Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram, as you all know, is the national song of India. So recently it completed 150 years of its inception. So to celebrate that, the government initiated a 10-hour long discussion initiated by and led by Prime Minister Modi himself yesterday. So a detailed discussion on its inception, what were the political controversies related to it, has begun in Parliament yesterday. So that is the news, that a major political controversy has erupted in the Indian Parliament over the 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram, with the ruling party and the opposition trading accusations over its historical interpretation, political appropriation, and its role in India's freedom struggle. So let us see from where did this song came from. So the author of this song was Bankim Chand Chattopadhyay. He composed this song in late 1870s in his famous novel known as Anand Mat. This novel was based on the aftermath of the Sannyasi revolt or rebellion and the famine of Bengal. These two events occurred at around 1770s in Bengal, and on the backdrop of these two events, this novel Anand Mat was written. What was the theme of this song? So the theme was, it depicted Mother India as the goddess, which embodies patriotism, spiritual devotion, and the fight against the oppression. So at that time, India was under the colonial rule, and as such, Bharat Mata through this song became a symbol to fight against the oppression of the Britishers. Then when was it first adopted? So it was first sung at 1896 INC session of Calcutta and was sung by none other than Rabindranath Tagore. Fine. Then throughout various sessions of Congress, this became the introductory and the last song through which the sessions were culminated. But in the late 1930s, objections were arose over the religious undertones of the song, as the song depicts Bharat Mata like a Devi. So Muslim League and other conservative organizations viewed it as a Hindu-centric song. So they opposed, and PM Modi in its speech in Lok Sabha yesterday pointed out to such instances in the 1930s. Then what is the official status as of now? So this song Vande Mataram was adopted by Constituent Assembly on January 24th, 1950 with the first two stanzas only to be treated as the national song of India by the Constituent Assembly. Fine. So it is not the national anthem per se, but the national song adopted by the Constituent Assembly. Then let's see what are the constitutional and legal basis for it. So already told that it is not mentioned in the Constitution, but accorded an official status by the Constituent Assembly resolution as such. Fine. The national anthem stands as Jana Gana Man, while Vande Mataram is the national song for India. There have been various instances where people have not been very comfortable with singing that song, but Supreme Court clarified in several of its judgment, mainly in 2017 also, that singing Vande Mataram is not mandatory, upholding the individual's right to choose under Article 19. So Article 19 provides for freedom of speech of individuals, and hence Supreme Court upheld that it is not mandatory. Fine. A small trivia for you guys can be, when we already had a national anthem for India as Jana Gana Man, what was the need of adopting Vande Mataram as the national song? And is there any other country also which has both national anthem and national song? That is a food for thought which you guys should think on. So let us look at the small history of the author also. So as already being discussed before also, its author was none other than Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay or Chatterjee as such. He was a novelist by profession, poet, and also a Indian civil servant officer. Fine. So IS, which was previously known as ICS in the colonial regime, he was a officer in that service. He wrote primarily in Bengali language. So Anand Mat, which was written, which had the Vande Mataram as the song, was also written in Sanskritized Bengali. Fine. So he is also regarded as one of the earliest pioneers of Indian nationalism in literature. So he was the one who inspired the future moderates and literary workers of the freedom struggle of India as such. Fine. Next is, we'll like to look at the contribution of Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay also, because many times in prelims UPSC has specifically asked his works. So first work is Anand Mat, which has Vande Mataram in it. So it was composed in 1870s, Anand Mat in 1882, and it became a symbol of patriotism and subsequently India's national song. Fine. Second one is Durgesh Nandini. It was composed in 1865. It is Bengal's first historical romance novel. Fine. It's very significant in Bengali literature. Then we had Kapal Kundala. It's a romantic novel which explores identity, spirituality and cultural values. Next, we have Krishna Charit. Krishna Charit was a critical biography of Lord Krishna, which is based on the literary and religious sources. So there were many literary and religious sources available at that time, and based on those, Bankim Da composed a critical evaluationary biography for Lord Krishna. At last, we have Devi Chaudharani. It features a female protagonist who turns into a revolutionary and promotes the empowerment of women as such. So these literary works are very important when it comes to prelims point of view. Next is we'll like to have a quick look at what are the differences between Jana Gana Mana and Vande Mataram as such. So we are very clear, Vande Mataram is the national song, Jana Gana Mana stands as the national anthem. Then the first two stanzas were only adopted for Jana Gana Mana. 1950 was it was adopted as the national anthem. This is not good. Sorry. The author of Jana Gana Mana is Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. The author of national anthem is Rabindranath Tagore. Fine. Then language, it is written in Sanskritized Bengali. This is also written in Sanskritized Bengali only. Then the controversy is because of the religious imagery which has been used in the song of Mother Goddess. There is no regional as such religious confrontation when it comes to national anthem Jana Gana Mana, and it is also recognized under Article 51A, not legally per se, but as a fundamental duty. Then the next we have about different national symbols which India has adopted. So we'll just quickly have a look at it. National anthem stands at Jana Gana Mana, written by Rabindranath Tagore. National song by that is Vande Mataram. We have Bankim Chandra Chatterjee composing it. National flag, it's the tricolor Tiranga, which we all know. Pingali Venkaya is attributed with the design. It was adopted on 22nd July 1947. Ashok Chakra was subsequently placed in the center. Fine. Then national emblem is the taken from the land capital of Ashok. Fine. Also adopted on 26 January 1950. Then national animal, Bengal tiger. National bird, we have the Indian peacock. National tree, banyan tree. National flower, we have lotus. National fruit, mango. And national river, Ganga, which was recently declared in 2008 only. Fine. Then moving on to the next slide, we have the various Supreme Court judgments over the issue of singing Vande Mataram as such. So the very famous case of Bijoy Emmanuel versus State of Kerala came up in 1986, where a group of individuals who were studying in a school were debarred from attending the school because they were not willing to sing Vande Mataram, and Supreme Court clarified in that instance that singing Vande Mataram is not compulsory, and thereby protecting the freedom to speech and expression under Article 19(1)(a) and freedom of conscience and religion under Article 25. Fine. Several other cases are also related to the issue, namely Union of India versus Naveen Jindal case of 2004, where the right to hoist the national flag as a fundamental right was recognized. Then we have talked about this case, Shyam Narayan Choksi versus Union of India in 2017, where the same ruling of Bijoy Emmanuel was emphasized again. Fine. So what are the key arguments? The arguments are mainly political in nature, and they are not much required when it comes to the prelims aspect. You can have a look and quickly glance over the slide as we move ahead. Moving on to the next topic, we have Hornbill Festival. So Hornbill Festival, it was recently inaugurated by Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. It's a 3-day festival organized in Nagaland. So It's it can be linked with part GS1, GS2 and GS3 as such, and being a festival of Northeast, it imperatively becomes an important aspect which can be directly asked in prelims examination as such. Fine. So let us see. So let us look at why this was in news. So already discussed, this was inaugurated by Minister of Culture and Tourism, Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, where it was inaugurated in Mon district. So the International Hornbill Festival, the Mon edition, was being inaugurated recently. So it's the 26th edition of this festival, which was started in the year 2000. It is held at the Konyak Heritage Complex, and it also organizes a parallel cultural program known as Cultural Connect, which showcases the cultural rich heritage of the tribes as such. So let us look at some of the features. We've already discussed that it started in the year 2000. Then it is organized by Government of Nagaland. The main venue is the Naga Heritage Village in Kisma. Festival dates, usually the first week of December is chosen, coincides with 1st to 10th of December. What is the purpose behind organizing such a festival? So it seeks to preserve and promote the Naga tribal culture in particular. It is also known as the Festival of Festivals. Fine. Not surprisingly, it is named after the hornbill bird. This bird is of a very significant nature in the Naga folklore as such. Hence, the festival derives its name from the same bird. Fine. So let us look at the tribes which are associated. So there are majorly 17 tribes which are associated in and found in Nagaland. Some of them are Ao, Angami, Sema, Lotha, Ringma, Konyak, Chekesang, Zeliangrong and others aspects. So these are the major tribes out of the 17 which are found in the state of Nagaland. Then let us look at the tribe which is at the center of this festival, that is the Konyak tribe. So Konyak tribe, when it comes to in terms of population, it is the largest tribe in Nagaland. It is mainly concentrated in the areas of Mon district, that is eastern Nagaland. What are they famous for? So they are known for their head hunting traditions as such, wood carving, gun making. When it comes to religion, they follow a mix of animism, Christianity and the tribal religion as such. So that is some of the important aspect when it comes to the Konyak tribe. Let us look at quickly about the hornbill bird as such. So it is mainly found in tropical forest of Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia, India. It is culturally revered by many Naga tribes as such. Species which are found in India, this is an important aspect which can be asked in the exam. One is great hornbill, which is also the state bird of Kerala. Then we have rufous-necked hornbill, which is mainly found in Northeast, and the last is Indian grey hornbill. Fine. They are all there in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Fine. So accorded the highest protected status as such. So we have discussed this, where the venue of this edition of Hornbill Festival is, that is Mon district. So Mon district is somewhere here. This is the map of Nagaland as such. We have Assam, Arunachal Pradesh here, borders Myanmar also, the district as such, Manipur in the south. So the location of Nagaland and Mon district in particular can be seen via this map as such. So let us look at some of the other important festivals in the Northeast region as such. So the first will look at is Hornbill festival. We have already covered about it in detail. So let us shift to the next one, that is Vangala. It is also known as the 100 Drums Festival. It is mainly celebrated in the Meghalayan state, celebrated by the Garo tribe. It's a harvest festival mainly. Then next is again from Meghalaya, Nokram festival, celebrated by the Khasi tribes as such. Again, it's a harvest and ritual festival. Then we have Chapchar Kut, celebrated in Mizoram by the Mizo community. Then we have Bihu Rangali in Assam, celebrated throughout the tribes of Assam through various community. The last one which we have is the Sangai festival, which is celebrated in Manipur, particularly by Methi and other ethnic groups. Fine. So these are some of the important festivals which are celebrated in, mainly tribal festivals which are celebrated in Northeast, with the most important being Chapchar Kut, Bihu, Sangai and Nokram. So the next news article is about the Deepathoon order and the subsequent impeachment proceedings which are being looked upon by the opposition MPs of the Indie bloc. Fine. So we saw that there was a single bench order by the Madras High Court, where the orders related to the Kartigai Deepam ritual at the Subramaniam Swami temple was ordered, and it drew a lot of political and legal tensions in the state of Tamil Nadu as such. So the news article is related to that opposition MPs are trying to look upon the possibilities of impeachment motion against the related judge. So why this was in news? We've already told about it, that impeachment motion is being planned against Justice G.R. Swaminathan, who issued a directive involving temple administration, where at the Subramaniam Swami temple on the Kartigai Deepam ritual as such. Fine. So they are trying to collect the required signature to initiate the process in the Lok Sabha as such. So let us look at the constitutional and legal basis for the impeachment of judges as such. So for the case of higher judiciary, the process of removal involves impeachment as such. So for the case of Supreme Court, Article 124 Clause 4 states the procedure for removal of Supreme Court judges, which applies in case of High Court judges via Article 217 Clause B. Fine. Which states that the High Court judges can be removed in the same manner as the Supreme Court judges. The other articles which are related are Article 121, which states that no discussion in Parliament on the conduct of a judge can be made except during the impeachment. So the MPs, if they wanted to discuss the conduct of the judge on the issue, they are barred from doing so to ensure the independence of judiciary. Then the legal act which lays down the process of such impeachment is the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. Fine. It provides a detailed impeachment procedure of the same. Fine. So what are the grounds of removal of judges as such? Can a judge be removed as such, like any other civil servant, or is he a civil servant? So the judge of a High Court or a Supreme Court as such can only be removed only on these two conditions: on the case of proved misbehavior or incapacity as such. So these two grounds are not objective as such. They are subjective grounds, and a detailed discussion has to be taken place in Parliament before it comes out that these two grounds are proven. Fine. Thereby voting is also done to secure the opinion of the House, and only these two grounds can be used to remove a judge of the higher judiciary as such. Fine. So what is the process when it comes to the removal of the judges? So a motion initiated by MPs has to be started. In case of Lok Sabha, 100 MPs signature is required. In case of Rajya Sabha, 50 MPs signature is required to start or initiate the motion as such in the Parliament. Then after that, the speaker or the chairman, as the case may be, will admit or reject the motion. So it is on the prerogative and the opinion of the judge, the speaker, who performs a discretionary role of his, that he may admit or refuse. If he admits the motion, then there will be constitution of an inquiry committee as such. Fine. This inquiry committee will consist of a sitting Supreme Court judge, the Chief Justice of the High Court, and a distinguished jurist as such, which may be nominated by the President. What if the speaker or the chairman refuses to entertain such a motion? Then such a motion will die here. Fine. And no process can be initiated again. So coming to this part, after the constitution of the inquiry committee, the three individuals will take up the investigation matter and collect evidences for the case as such. If the charges are not proven, the process stops at this point. If the charges are proven, the motion is taken up again in both the houses. The first in that house where the motion was initiated, and subsequently in the other house if the motion is passed by that house. So here at this point of time, the matter will be discussed on the conduct of the said judge, and after the discussion, such discussion, a voting will be done. So for passing the motion, a special majority in both the houses will have to be secured. Majority of the, where the total membership of the houses will be there, 50%, and also greater than 2/3 of present and voting has to be secured. Once such motions are passed in both the houses, the President will issue orders of his removal and the judge will stand removed from his post. Fine. There are some facts or trivia which should be known to you when it comes to prelims. Fine. So till date, no judge has been successfully impeached in India. Fine. That is the case of higher judiciary. No judge of a High Court or Supreme Court has been impeached. Justice Soumitra Sen in 2011, if I recall, and Justice P.D. Dinakaran came close, but they resigned before such a motion was to be taken up in the House. Justice Soumitra Sen's motion was passed in one of the houses subsequently, but before that could be taken up by the second house, he resigned. Then we have already covered on this topic, Article 121. Also, why such a strong majority is being rewarded in the House? Because to secure the independence of judiciary, such a high majority of second type is ensured. One of the facts which I want you all to know is about Justice V. Ramaswamy. So he was the first judge of the higher judiciary against whom impeachment proceedings were initiated. Fine. Also, the term distinguished jurist, this has not been defined anywhere in the constitution. Fine. So there may be an option where objectivity will be attributed to such term and you have to cancel that out. Fine. Also, only two democracies as such, India and Japan, have that stringent provision of such a high majority to ensure the passage of such motions. Fine. The case is simple: to ensure the judicial independence and ensure that no political vindictment is taking place against judge and they can deliver in free and fair manner their judgments. Such a high majority for their removal is ensured. Fine. So a little bit about the High Court judges. We all know that they are being appointed by the President of India in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, Governor of the state, and the Chief Justice of the concerned High Court. Here, Chief Justice plus two senior most judges are also views of two senior judges are also taken in course. the tenure of the chief High Court judge is until the age of 62, whereas for Supreme Court it is till the age of 65. Removal we have already talked about. Conditions of service, he cannot practice in the same court after retirement, and the salaries may be charged on the consolidated fund of India that are non-votable in Parliament. The next topic is about the DHRUVA framework. So what is the news all about? So India Post has proposed a DHRUVA framework which seeks to create a unified digital consent-based addressing system which enables precise, shareable virtual addresses for improving service delivery, governance and logistic efficiencies as such. So India Post has come out with this framework of DHRUVA which will improve upon the address locations as such. Fine, let us look what it is. So what is the news? We have already talked about the DHRUVA framework, which stands for Digital Hub for Reference and Unique Virtual Address. What is the purpose of such a framework? So it will be a standardization and sharing of physical addresses using the digital label. So what will the digital label will subsequently talk about. Fine. How will this help? This will help in e-governance, service delivery, logistics and financial inclusions as such. Fine. A draft amendment has been proposed to the Post Office Act of 2023 to enable such a framework. Fine. That is the context on which we are discussing this news item. So what is DHRUVA? So it's part of the digital public infrastructure for addresses as such. It aims to create a virtual address as such which will be unique in nature, digital references codes for any physical addresses as such. Suppose that your house has certain address now and that is located through that address number and subsequent pin code. Let us say 217674. That is the pin code of your house and that will help to locate your house for let's say India Post or any other delivery items as such. Fine. So keeping in mind that there was some difficulty in locating the pinpoint accuracy of such locations. So this framework will help to improve on that those address locating facilities as such. Fine. It will be interoperable for platforms and it will be used for address verification and sharing as such. Fine. Let us see what will be the key ideas as such. So the key ideas is that the citizens or service providers like the e-commerce which we talked about, the logistic fintech companies, they will generate a digital address label. So the digital address label will be like the QR code which we have and that will have the locations address which can be used by these service providers. Fine. So why this was needed? So India lacks in standardized addresses. I've already explained in the previous slide what is the problem with the address locations as such. So we are talking about the same here. It hampers deliveries, services, banking, telecom, KYCs and other aspects as such. Many addresses they are non-descriptive and non-standard as such. Fine. So DHRUVA solves all these problems by standardizing the address in a digital format. It has precise geocodes and pin code mapping as such. It becomes easier for authentication and efficient logistic and emergency response also. So coming to what is the DigiPin all about. So this framework will generate a DigiPin which will have the information of your geotagged information of your location as such. It will be a 10-digit alphanumeric pin code. It will be more accurate than the current 6-digit pin code which usually we are having, and that does not have the exact location of your house or the address, we've talked about that it will have geographical precision based on location coordinates. Fine. Then India Post has already developed similar systems as such with companies like Google. Fine. Let us see what are the key features of Dhruv. So first step will be the address generation. So user will get a label. Label will be the digital address, which has to be authorized by them, and then they will be used to fill any address field as such. The second step will be the geocoded precisions. Each address that will be linked to the geographical coordinates as such. Let's say this can be a geographical coordinate, and a new digipin will be generated accordingly. Then third will be the digital address validation. The agencies as such, let us say you order some food, so Zomato as such, that can authenticate that addresses digitally, which will be approved by you, the user. Fourth will be data interoperability. This enables that address sharing will be across government platforms, logistic, private platforms, e-commerce, fintech, and all others as such. Then service delivery will be ensured. Thereby, intermediaries, they can show which services are available at an address. So suppose you have your house here, so services around your house can also be discovered via this framework, this digipin which will be generated. Fine. What are the advantages of such a framework? We have discussed, again listing out the same: doorstep deliveries, public service deliveries, emergency response, let us say for 112 or other medical or police responses. KYC and bank account will become easier. Urban governance and smart city management systems as such, maybe related to say water management, road construction, and other aspects which are related to urban governance models can be taken good care of because of the exact and precise location. Taxation, property records, and other municipal things can be done in a very much precise way with this framework. Then Dhruv, it aims to create a unified address infrastructure similar to how the UPI unified the payment system. So UPI unified the payment system, and this wants to create a unified address infrastructure, and subsequently it will strengthen India's digital private infrastructure as such also. Fine. So the Aadhaar identity, UPI, ONDC, ABDM, and now DHRUVA will strengthen the digital public infrastructure of India as such. So one of the last slides in this is about the statutory basic policies. So an amendment to the Post Office Act 2023 will be required. Point to remember here is India Post is under Ministry of Communication. Fine. It is supported from Dwar Research Institute for inclusion and data governance as such. Next topic which we'll cover is about the crypto transactions as such. So the one of the news item which is covered in today's newspaper in the Hindu is crypto transactions crossed 51,000 crore in 2024-25 in India. So we'll be looking at the recent trends of cryptocurrency transactions and the subsequent implications it will have on the economies as such. So why this news was in the newspaper? So the value of crypto transactions, as we have stated, crossed 51,000 crore. It was a 41% growth as compared to last year. Thereby, government has collected 511.8 crore as TDS from these transactions as such. Earlier transaction trends in India, when we talk about, were when it came to So this was somewhere 221.3 crores. Then we had 362.7 crores, and now we have 511.8 crores. So we see a steep rising increase when it comes to crypto transaction and subsequent tedious collections as such. Fine. What does it imply? It implies rising adoption of virtual digital assets as such, despite there being high taxation regime in India, which we'll subsequently see. Fine. So before we see on to that taxation issue, let us have a brief outlook of the evolution of these crypto regulations in India. So phase 1, we had the unregulated growth between 2009 and 2017, where we saw that Bitcoin emerged globally. Indian crypto market started to grow. It was in nascent state, but without the regulatory oversight, it started to grow leaps and bounds. RBI issued repeated caution, but though because they were unregulated, they had no sanctions as such. Then in 2018, RBI came out with banking restrictions as such, where it issued a circular prohibiting banks from dealing with crypto entities. Fine. It effectively shut down Indian exchange in terms of crypto. Next was the phase 3, where Supreme Court in 2020 in Internet and Mobile Association of India versus RBI, it struck down RBI's ban, the circular, calling it disproportionate, and thereby crypto trading resumed at this point. Then 2022 onwards, we had taxation based regulation, where in the budget government introduced these taxation on cryptos as such. 30% tax on VDA gains under section 115 BBH of income tax was done. 1% TDS at source on transactions was done. Then VDA definition was also inserted in the Income Tax Act. Let us look at what is mean by virtual digital asset. So as per Income Tax Act, any digital asset with value stored or transacted electronically will be called as virtual digital assets. It can be in form of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., NFTs, or any government notified digital assets as such may also be known as VDAs. Then what do we mean by cryptocurrency? So cryptocurrency is a digital asset which uses blockchain technology, cryptography, that is based on security and decentralized validation as such. Fine. So these are VDA and cryptocurrency. Let us look also at what is the difference between digital tender and assets. So before we look onto that, what is meant by legal tender? So legal tender as such is the money that is accepted for transactions in India and notified by RBI through government. Then crypto as such has not been recognized as the legal tender in India. Fine. It is treated as an asset for transaction, remember, but not recognized as a legal tender for exchange as such. Then taxation on crypto in India, we have talked about. You can have a look at the slide. Section 115 BBH of IT Act, it flat 30% tax on income from sale or transfer of VDA. No deduction is allowed. No set off of VDA losses against any other income is allowed. No carry forward of losses has to be taken place. Then 1% TDS on crypto transfers. Fine. Then gift tax on VDA. So that was a loophole which was shut down by government as such, that VDA received as gift is also taxable under income from other source as such. So that is the taxation regime on VDA as such. So why did the government impose this 1% TDS as such? So this 1% TDS, that leaves a trail of the money as such, to track the trail where the money is coming from and where the money is going to. This TDS was being cut. Fine. So it monitors money flow in crypto money market, checks on tax evasion, ensures audit trail as we talked about. it brings crypto transactions into formal accounting system as such. So the government got 511.8 crore rupees of TDS, and that is how we know that a sum of approximately 51,000 crore was being transacted in the this cryptocurrency market as such. Fine. Then it also curbs excessive speculative day trading also. Fine. Then we'll see some of the economic significances of the data which we have got. So it reflects on the rising adoption. So despite the heavy taxation regime of 30% and 1% TDS deduction, we see the transaction growing from nearly 22,000 to 51,000. That means increased participation is there. Then tax revenue gain is being reflected. This shows formalization and greater reporting compliance. Then crypto has also secured its face as an alternative asset class. Then impact on foreign and capital flows can be deciphered through this. Fine. Then there is this also tells us there is a need for regulatory framework as such. We cannot forego the need for such a regulatory framework when such a transaction load is going on in the crypto market up to the tune of 51,000 crore rupees, which is a significant amount as such. So there is a need as such. So what are the risks associated? We have economic risks, legal and regulatory risks, social risks, and technological risk. Not much of a significant from the prelims point of view, but you can have a look. They're very self-explanatory in nature, and subsequently I'll move ahead. So summing up the argument, crypto is not banned in India per se, but it's not also a legal tender, unlike rupee. It is taxed heavily to discourage speculative trading. The government is also awaiting global consensus through G20 discussion or some initiative taken from IMF, World Bank or FSB framework as such. Fine. The next topic is about stubble burning. So as we have seen in recent news that the air pollution in NCR region has spiked up. So there was a auditing of the various fire incidents, stubble burning incidents which are taking place in the regions around, especially in the areas of Punjab and Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh as such. So the article is related to that despite the fewer reported stubble burning incident, particularly in Haryana, the satellite data shows a sharp rise in the burnt area. So there was a decrease in the case of stubble burning spotted, the fire spotted, but the rise in burnt area, subsequent burnt area upon the fire is done, has seen a sharp rise. Thereby it reveals a major gap in the monitoring and significant implication for Delhi's air pollution cause. So that is the news item which we are going to discuss on how the fire incidents have been escaped, but the burnt area subsequently found that there are increase in the fire incident which are being escaped through difference in the timings of such events. Fine. So that is the news which we have already discussed. So we have seen the news recently. Papers like the Hindu covered it in very detail, where the fire count dropped by 52%, but the burnt area has increased by 24%. So thereby there is a mix and match between the fire count and the burnt area. Thereby that means there was some kind of escape which is going on, and proper monitoring has not been able to done. And what is the reason behind all those this mismatch? So scientists and researchers have arrived at a conclusion that most of these fires, they happened post 3 p.m. at around 5, 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening, because that is the time when polar orbiting satellite do not pass overhead. They pass only twice a day at around 11 a.m. in the morning or 1 p.m. in the afternoon as such. So to escape the monitoring of these two polar satellite, namely MODIS and VIIRS, the farmers have subsequently shifted their times to late afternoon or evening, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. onwards. Fine. So this indicates under detection of real time farm fires. Similar is the case with Punjab also, where farm fire count fell by nearly half, but burnt area reduced only marginally as such. 90% of large fires occurred after 3 p.m. and compared to just 3% in 2021. Fine. So why Punjab, Haryana, these are facing severe stubble burning issues as such? So as per the reports of Economic Survey, ICAR and PRS as such, some of the reasons for these area prominently facing the stubble burning issues are listed here. So first is the MSP driven paddy wheat system. Fine. So 80% of the procurement is done by the government in these states, and therefore farmers are locked into paddy cultivation as such. Fine. Thereby the wheat cycle, due to assured government purchases, that is why reliance on these two crops is heavily being done, and thus the cases of stubble burning we see in both of these states as such. Then the second is the very short sowing window. Fine. After the paddy harvesting, only 20-25 days is left before wheat sowing in the Rabi season. This we are talking in the month of September onwards and October. So these are the months where we see heavy stubble burning in this region. Fine. So burning is the fastest way out to clear the field by the method. Then the next is the labor shortage and high machinery cost in this region. There is always a labor shortage because even with subsidies and measures like Happy Seeder and others, they require manual labor as such, and putting a lot of cost into the uprooting of these stubble by the farmers will add up eventually to the costs. So thereby they are avoiding such things. Then the next is high silica in paddy straw. So the silica content in paddy straw is high, and it is not it is very unsuitable for cattle fodder as such, and thereby it limits the market options also. Then the last but one of the most significant changes which was done in Punjab was the Preservation of Soil Water Act 2009, which delayed the paddy sowing. It delayed the paddy sowing to align with the monsoon cycle, fine, to June, July. So areas around Punjab, they have a very low water table as such, and to avoid water extraction for paddy cultivation and rely more on the rainfall from monsoon, this cycle was shifted to June, later June and early July, and this has left a very limited window as such for subsequent uprooting of the stubble and planting of wheat. So thereby for faster plantation of the Rabi season wheat, farmers are employing the easier way of burning out the stubble as such. So we have already discussed that about the Punjab Preservation of Subsoil Water Act 2009. The next is the satellite monitoring limitation. So which are the satellites which are detecting? We have already talked about NASA's MODIS, which is a Terra Aqua satellite. It's VIRS, ISRO's INSAT 3D, Sentinel-3 also of European Space Agency is also monitoring. So these can be match the following type of questions in prelims exam, which you can remember. So why do fire counts drop despite actual burning? We have already discussed. You can have a look at the slide. Fine. These are some of the relation of stubble burning to Delhi's air pollution. Not much of significant for from prelims point of view, but for the holistic coverage of the topic, we tried to list. So peak contribution is approximately 25 to 45% during late October, early November, and annual contribution is a meager 4 to 7. But this contribution of 25 to 45% coupled with the cold season around this time contributes to Delhi's air pollution as such. Fine. The weather factors worsening Delhi's pollution. We have low mixing height as such, which coupled by northwesterly winds and temperature inversions creates a suitable condition, thereby Delhi becoming the pollution ball during the winters as such. Fine. Some of the environmental impacts we've already covered in previous editions of DNA on these topics. So I'm just quickly glancing over the slides. Government measures, you all know about the subsidy, happy seeders, super SMS, mulchers, penalties are being imposed. Fine. C2 solutions such biomass power plants, bio-CNG under Satat scheme. Fine. Fines that have been proportionate by the land size as such has been fixed. So Pusa decomposer, the microbial decomposer which converts the stubble or the straw into bio decomposed is also being tried. So the next topic is on EU's fine on X. So European Union has fined X, formerly known as Twitter, of $140 million for violating the Digital Service Act. It's a act by European Union that has triggered political backlash in US and raised global concerns as such about platforms' transparency, online safety and regulatory authorities as such. So the news for the lack of advertising and transparency, for misuse of blue check marks. So this can be a prelims question here. The blue check marks or the verified tick marks are associated with which of the following? So Twitter or X, as it is known now, is a platform which is associated with this blue check marks. Fine. And failure to provide access to public data for researchers as such. So this fine of $140 million was imposed on Twitter via the Digital Service Act of EU, which came effect for very large online platforms. So we'll subsequently see also what is the definition of these very large online platforms which came in 2023. Fine. So what is the background on Digital Service Act of US? So its objective is to create a safer digital space by increasing accountability of digital platforms as such. It was initiated in October 2022 and it came force into 2023. Fine. So what are the global context and implications of such a penalty? So there is a transatlantic tensions which is going on. US has claimed that EU's fine, they attack American companies' free speech right. Fine. Tech regulation is on trend. Similar moves in other jurisdictions can also be seen in near future. India, as its IT rules 2021, they also mandate traceability, content takedowns, grievance redressal. We have Australia's law also coming up. Data transparency and researchers, their blocking access to data hinders research and misinformation, hate speech and manipulation. So X, if it is being accused of such things, has to resolve and address these data transparency issues so as to comply with the local authorities and jurisdiction as such. Fine. Why this matters for India? So India is also preparing its own Digital India Act, which is aiming to replace the outdated IT Act of 2000. Fine. So it can incorporate DSA like provisions for platform accountability, safe harbor condition and clear rule on content moderation, because hate speech and hate content as such in India is also on increase and causing a lot of distress to the lawmakers. Then there is a global consensus that tech giants must be regulated so that as to protect the user's right as such, curb disinformation campaigns, and ensure data transparency and ethical AI use. Next topic for the day is the Thailand-Cambodia dispute. So there has been a Thai airstrikes on Cambodia which have revived a long-running border conflict rooted in the colonial era boundary demarcations, where ethnic tensions and competing historical claims have risen, especially over the Previhar temple area. Fine. So that is the news which we'll be looking forward. So mainly we'll be looking at from the perspective of mapping and international relation. So let us quickly look at the historical background of the dispute. So it's a colonial era dispute. In the 1990s, 1904, we had the Franco-Siam agreement, which used the Dongrek watershed as the boundary. So this is Cambodia. This is Thailand. Fine. This is Laos and other parts. So here you have the Dongrek mountain as such, and here you have on the border the Previhar temple complex as such. So this is the area which is disputed because this agreement used this mountain as the watershed, this Dongrek watershed as the boundary between the two countries. The 1907 treaty, the French map placed Previhar within Cambodia. Fine. So earlier this was part of the Thailand as such, but then the French map this placed Previhar as within the ambit of Cambodia, and this disputed map became the cause of concern between the two states, and it also helped to make the cause for Cambodia in the ICJ case also. Post-independence phase, we see in 1953 Cambodia gained independence from France. In 1962, ICJ came up with a ruling that the said area belongs to Cambodia. Thailand was ordered to withdraw troops from the temple area of Previhar. Fine. Then in 2008 and 13, we see escalations growing up because in 2008, UNESCO designated Previhar as World Heritage Site, the Cambodian nomination. Fine. Thailand opposed it, clashes were followed. Subsequently, 2011, we see Cambodia sought ICJ's clarification on the issue. 2013, we saw again a judgment by ICJ which reformed the Cambodian sovereignty over the surrounding areas. Thailand unilaterally rejected the part of rulings as such. Then we see the recent development in 2024-25. July 2024, we see some clashes down there. 48 people were displaced. 2025 in December, that is today and around days, we see Thai airstrikes on military targets, as they say, Thailand says, in Cambodia. Cambodia denies any type of provocation, and there are growing discontentment between the two countries as such. Then we'll see about the international legal dimensions as such. Here we have the ICJ. It settled the claims of the two countries by favoring Cambodian claims. In 1962 itself, UNESCO, it has listed Previhar as World Heritage Site, which triggered the tension, as we recalled, in 2008. Fine. Then ASEAN is also a stakeholder in here because both the countries are part of the regional grouping as such. Then in the context of the mapping and the key location dimension, Previhar temple, that's a 11th century Hindu temple which has been designated UNESCO site, and it is located atop the Dongrek mountain near the Cambodia Thailand border. So the border area so you have to remember the map as such. Cambodia, this is Thailand. Fine. So this is the mountain area, the watershed, Dongrek. Fine. And on top of one of it is the Previhar complex. Fine. Dongrek mountain as such, these are natural geographical boundaries. They were used as the watershed line during the colonial treaties as such. So this is part of the mapping which you can remember. Fine. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time and had a good learning as such. Thank you.